In today's video, I break down some of the most common misconceptions, misperceptions, myths in the coaching and consulting industry that are preventing you from building a business to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, as well as some of the lies you've been told to keep you out. If you're interested, let's get into it. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help you shatter past your highest revenue record months in the shortest amount of time. So the first myth or misconception is that you need to be ready and you need to wait and you need certifications, qualifications, blah, 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 blah. You need a fancy, shiny piece of paper that says you can do what you already know how to do. I often see the people with the highest amount of certifications with the least amount or zero clients. I also see people with zero certifications with a ton of clients and they're not giving great results. So if you're in mindset, trauma, therapy, something along those lines, yes, you need some level of basic certification to ensure that you don't end up hurting your clients. I've been a mindset coach. I've helped people overcome stress, anxiety, negative thoughts permanently without fighting or suppressing them. And yes, I did do a lot of certifications to make sure that I was giving the best results to my clients in the fastest amount of time possible, to make sure that I didn't hurt people, because that's a category where you have people who've been through trauma and who are in difficult circumstances. So that's a caveat. However, for 99.9% of people, all they need is a permission slip. We need a permission slip from our brain or from society that tells us, okay, now you're qualified to do what you already knew how to do and you wanted to do all along. Because here's the thing, why do people with a ton of qualifications not make a lot of money? And why do people with zero qualifications make money? The answer is not the qualifications they have. The answer is the fact that some people assume that once they have the qualification, people are going to run to them dying to work with them, and they do nothing about their sales and marketing. And then the other people learn marketing and sales, and then they're able to sell anything to anyone, even if they don't know how to solve that problem. So I will often see the best of the best in the industry just amassing, getting more and more qualifications under their belt, but refusing to look at their marketing and sales. Maybe they find it distasteful, maybe they see themselves as a through and through coach and not an entrepreneur, and there can be lots of reasons. But the reality of the situation is you don't need a fancy, shiny piece of paper that says you can do what you do, provided you've already done it for yourself and you have experience, because nothing in this world can make up for experience. And so, for example, I built 5 businesses and I grew them to 8, 7, and 6 figures before I started teaching other people how to do it. Do I need a fancy certificate that says I'm now qualified to teach people business? Hell no, because I have the experience. I have a laundry list of companies and people that have made money. And so a lot of people will have their certifications in the background thinking it builds authority. In reality, no one cares. As long as you can get someone from point A to point B, or you can solve a problem, or you can help someone achieve a goal, you can start. You don't need any permission slip. Speaking of starting, point number 2 is do not create before you sell your service. So a lot of people get this wrong. I often speak to people and they're like, yeah, I'm in the middle of figuring out what is it I want to do, how I want to sell, what I want to sell, how I want to package it, who I want to sell it to, blah, 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 blah. And they're doing anything and everything under the sun except selling. And they're telling themselves, I'm waiting to have all the facts and figures in place to be able to sell. That's the wrongest possible approach you can ever have. And this is why some of these people are always perpetually stuck in iterating and evaluating and figuring out what they want to do and what they want to sell. And other people have moved on and they've created something that they think is precious, valuable, beautiful, but no one cares and no one's buying. The reason why most people with products and services are unsuccessful is because they haven't bothered to test the market. And so a lot of people will say, well, I've looked at competition and these people are doing the exact same thing, or other people will create versions of certain programs they went through that really helped them, and they'll be like, well, this program helped me and I create this, so it's going to help other people. No, you have no clue how people respond to you, your marketing, your energy, your brand. And so I've had this in my life where people will copy my stuff, my branding, my marketing, this, that, and the other, but it's not going to work for them. And the reason is quite simple. The reason is no one can be the best version of me, so everyone's going to be a muted, weaker version of who I am. The second more important reason is no one has a clue what happens in the back end. So everyone can see the front end, which is the marketing, the branding, the advertising. No one knows what the customer journey looks like. No one knows what happens when someone gets in touch with me or my team and we walk them through our process and we get them the results and how we get them the results and what their journey looks like. And so if you haven't bothered to actually test the market for your service, what that means is market feedback. What that means is putting out marketing, getting a bunch of people on a call with you, seeing if you can help solve their problem, signing on a bunch of people, not working for free, not working pro bono, getting people to pay you money to help them solve a problem for them. And when you start getting results, that's when you can start creating a program a service, a subscription, an offer, or something along the lines of a digital e-learning product that's going to work across the board. Why is this so important? It's important because you need to work with about 10 to 30 people. That's what I recommend my clients do before they create a program. Why? Because A, you need to know the sort of people that are attracted to you and that are coming to you. B, you also need to know that you can solve their problem. C, you then want to know across those people what is the fastest, most optimum way to solve your problem. D, it gives you confidence in your ability to serve people. It gives you confidence in your product. So when you're selling and marketing it, you are far more confident about what you're selling because you've already helped people solve a problem. And F is that all the people that you've solved it for, doing one-on-one services, they turn into case studies and testimonials and just walking, talking examples of what you're capable of. So please, for the love of God, get out of your head. Do not create before you sell. Selling is an indication to you whether you should create or not. The third biggest myth in the industry is that you know what sort of content you need to create. People think their insights qualify them to create content that's going to attract people. So regarding content, one of the terms I use a lot is you want to create content that converts. You don't want to create content that gets a ton of views, a ton of likes, and the only people liking your video are your mother, your aunt, and your 3 best friends, right? That's not good content. That's not content that's going to convert. That's not content that's going to get you clients. You want to stop thinking like an influencer and you want to start thinking like an entrepreneur instead. It's a business, and so content needs to be created keeping in mind that it's a business. Now, most people will use social media where they create content as their diary. Some of you will consider yourselves artists and you'll come from an approach of, I feel like sharing this today. Others of you will be hyper mathematical and analytical, and you're going to make Google Sheets and flowcharts, this, that, and the other, and you're going to put out very what you think is valuable content. The problem with both the types of content is you have no clue what people want. Let's say you're a fitness coach, you've achieved the body, you've achieved the results, and now you're creating content about how to do chest flies or how to get a bicep peak, but you help people lose weight. And so your people couldn't care less about chest flies and bicep peaks. They want content that helps them solve their problem using their words, their vernacular, tackling their issues, and speaking about their life. Most coaches and consultants live in their own echo chamber. They live in their own heads and their own minds, and they place a lot of pressure on themselves to create content, and they hit walls and they have creative blocks. Content creation is super simple. All you need to do is look at the earlier version of yourself who was struggling with the problem. What was that version thinking like? What was that version feeling like? What did that version desire desperately that you now have and take for granted? And you will have the answer to content that converts. And speaking of content, when you start getting clients, this is where you run into the last biggest stumbling block. Let's say you're selling something that's relatively high ticket, so $2,000 and above. You're gonna get on calls and you're gonna have to sell to those people. You present your services and you empower the person and you tell them, hey, look, this is what I do. I'd love to help solve your problem. This is the price I charge. How does it sound? More often than not, you're going to be hit with what we in the business coaching industry call the price objection, which simply means your price is too high. I don't think I can afford to work with you. This is a normal human behavior. This is something that's extremely normal for someone like me who's done more than 1,000 calls with people where I pitch to them and I tell them my services and they tell me how they feel about it. However, if you're someone who's beginning, if you're someone who's just started out, this can feel horrible because it's rejection to your face. Someone is saying, you're too expensive, I can't afford to work with you. It's a hit to your self-esteem, it's a slap in your face. And what most beginners and new people will do is, you're gonna take that on face value and you're gonna lower your price. And you're going to lower your services. And you're going to start rethinking, maybe I shouldn't do one-on-one, maybe I should do subscription, charge them less, this, that, and the other. And you're going to price yourself to a place where it becomes impossible to keep up with fulfillment and service delivery and things of that nature. I know lots of people who have subscription models and they're suffering and complaining. Think about it. There is a very big difference in the profile of a person who's willing to pay high ticket to you to help them get from point A to point B versus a person who's paying you $50. They're going to have a very different set of demands. They're going to be highly price sensitive, meaning they're going to compare your pricing to everybody else across the board. They're not going to value the end result. Instead, they're going to fixate on the features and benefits of your program and pricing and this, that, and the other. And so when you're hit with this objection, doesn't matter if you're a seasoned coach, a veteran, or you're someone starting out new, you want to go deeper and you want to explore and you want to figure out if this objection means anything about you or it means everything about the person sitting across you. Because more often than not, it's not you, it's them. But because we're all insecure about who we are and we're all carrying varying levels of struggles with self-esteem, we tend to make it about ourselves and start underpricing ourselves. Boys and girls, these are the most common myths, misconceptions, misconceptions and often lies that you've been told about the coaching and consulting industry. I hope this video helps. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which point you found the most useful for you. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.